Hello guys, I'm Pradeep, your new economics teacher. So here we have our next video lecture of economics by continuing our second chapter, which is Indian economy from 1950 to 1990. In your last lecture, you have learned about the basic concepts of economic planning and plans and some economic structures, say socialist, capitalist and mixed economy. So moving forward in this context, I have some basic concepts about economic planning. We all know that after getting freedom, India had a very big problem of its economic development or regarding economic development. So, in this concern, an organization called Planning Commission was established in 1950 under the chairmanship of P.C. Mahalanobis, which formulated or framed various plans which are widely known as 5 year plans. These are our developmental plans, and these are called 5 year plans because the duration of plans were for 5 years, though various annual plans were also being formulated or framed in between, but we widely explain the 5 year plans or depends on the 5 year plans, which are explaining our developmental objectives or goals or exercise various activities to achieve the development of the economy. Here's a point to note that Planning Commission was took over by Niti Aayog in 2015. That means Planning Commission does not exist since 2015. Planning Commission formulated 12 5-year plans till 2017. The last 5-year plan formulated by Planning Commission was 12th 5-year plan, and that existed from 2012 to 2017. Now, Niti Aayog works for the development of the economy or formulating plans for the development of economy since 2015. There are two types of plans. One is directive plan and other one is comprehensive plans. As we have studied various economic structures, socialist, capitalist and mixed, all the economies or economic structures follow or adopt different kinds of plans. Say, what are these plans? Directive plans, as the name suggests, directive. These plans give direction to the market forces or works on the direction of the market forces. Means market forces are demand and supply, as we all know. We have studied in microeconomics about these forces. All the plans or policies are formulated on the basis of these market forces. These plans are called directive plans, and these plans or these kinds of plans are widely formulated in capitalist economies. As we have studied that capitalist economies, all the decisions are taken by market forces, or market forces dominates in the economy, or private sector dominates, or major resources or most of the resources are owned by private sector. The next one is comprehensive plans. Apart from capitalist economies, the rest other economies, socialist and mixed economies, follow comprehensive plans, and these plans are formulated by the Central Planning Authority or Committee. Moreover, in mixed economies, the Central Planning Authority also takes into consideration the market forces while formulating their developmental plans. Moving forward, each and every plan or policy which is being formulated has a specific or a particular goal or objective. Means anything whatever we are doing or we are planning are according to a set objectives or goals. That means whatever we have to do has to be end with a result. So here are the goals of economic plans. Why we make plans or why we are planning. We had clear cut objectives or goals for these plans or these kinds of plannings. Furthermore, the goals are also divided into or categorized into two parts: long term goals and short term goals. Long-term goals are also called common goals, and short-term goals are called plan-specific goals. Now, what does it mean that long-term goals are called common goals and short-term goals are plan-specific goals? As the name suggests, common goals. The long-term goals are the common or general goals which does not change or do not change with each and every plan. They remain as it is, or the goals remain fixed for each and every plan, or the goals which remain for a longer duration. On the other hand, short-term goals, which are plan-specific goals, that means these kinds of goals or objectives changes with each and every plan. So moving towards the explanation of long-term goals, our first long-term goal is growth or economic growth. What does it mean? Growth means increasing the productivity of the economy or increasing the production capacity of the country. That means we have to increase the resources or means of production so that we can increase our production capacity. As a result, the GDP of the country will rise. GDP, the most familiar term for economists or economics students, as we have already studied it about in 10th class or 11th class, and now we are also studying in plus 2 or 12th class. Gross domestic product, it is also called a growth indicator of every economy. It is estimated or counted with the help of goods and services produced in the economy. We are also talking about increasing production. That means GDP and production capacity has a close connection. So if we talk about increasing production capacity, that means automatically GDP will rise. And GDP is the growth indicator. If GDP rises, that means growth will also increase. So the first common goal of the plans is growth. That means the country wants to increase its production capacity so that we can increase our rate of development. Now, moving to an important concept of GDP, that is the structural composition. Structural composition means GDP involves various goods and services which are produced by different sectors of the economy. We have divided our economy into three sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary sector. Different goods and services are produced in these sectors. All the final goods produced by these sectors collectively formulate or form GDP. And this concept is called structural composition. Our next goal is modernization. Modernization means adopting new and advanced technology for production. As we all know that science and technology has achieved a large way towards innovation by research and development. So each and every country has new and advanced technology to use it in its production process. What are the advantages of using new and advanced technology in production? The very important advantage is that first of all, the production or output will increase. Secondly, side by side, the resources will also be preserved. That means the wastage of resources can be minimized. If we use modern or advanced or improved technology, the resources can be saved from being wasted or overused. And side by side, or on the other hand, modern technology or advanced technology will also increase the production or productivity. As a result, growth will automatically increase. That means modernization also contributes to the growth process. And if we take an example, green revolution in our country is a very important example in our primary sector, which we have seen in mid 1960s. The next point, self-reliance or self-sufficiency. It means making the country self-sufficient. That means reducing the dependence of the country or the people on other or outer sources. That means, for example, we have two resources or two options for production. One is by using own resources, the country can produce various goods by using its own resources and can also produce by using imported resources. Here, self-reliance focuses on using more and more own resources. The country has to use its own resources for its production, and for taking an example, we can also state import substitution. That means whatever we are importing from other countries can be substituted by the products which are being produced in our own countries. This will reduce our dependence on other countries as well as will save our foreign exchange reserves. The next point is equity. Equity means fair and just treatment. It is different from equality. I want to make it clear that equity is different from equality. As we have learned about the previous 3 points, growth, modernization, and self-reliance. If the country is growing or its GDP is increasing, it doesn't mean that each and every person in the country is becoming developed or becoming prosperous. That means the prosperity of the country is not shared by all the people equally. As we all know that in the countries like India, we have unequal distribution of income, and as a result, we have two sections, poor and rich sections in the society. And moreover, we all know that almost all the resources, say more than 90% of the resources, are owned by the rich section of the society. And the poor do not have sufficient resources even to fulfill their basic needs. This means there is a high degree of inequality prevails in the economy. So, what is the point of growth or development if all the people are not equally prosperous? They are not enjoying the resources or the growth of the country. So, making it clear, our last goal or long term goal is equity. The bureaucrats or think tankers want to ensure that each and every person can enjoy the growth or the development of the country, or the resources should be accessed fairly by almost all the people. So, equity was taken as an important goal in our plan process or planning process. Here we have an example of equity and equality. Equity, that means fair and just treatment. That means one should get how much he or she deserves. On the other hand, equality means equal distribution or equal treatment. Here we have the three blocks or boxes. In equality, all the three persons got one, and in equity, the first person didn't get one, the second got one, and the third got two, and all remained equal. That means whoever wants more resources should be given more, and whoever needs not to be given more resources can compromise or can live without or can live with little bit of resources. Here equity is defined.